Previously in X-Men, Jean Grey, the Phoenix, has died for her crimes. The X-Men get a chilling vision of the dark times ahead in days of future past. Then, John Byrne leaves the series to go write and draw the Fantastic Four. But what if? I am Jason Lapidus of Group of 7 Comics. Welcome to episode 177 of our ongoing read-through of the X-Men comics that became classic, as we read the as-of-yet unpublished X-Men Elsewhen by John Byrne, first posted online in 2019. If you're enjoying what we do here on the channel, of course you can support us at group7comics.ca, where you can pick up our first paperback, Group of 7, A Most Secret Tale, or our latest, Peregrines, Flights, Fiends, and Fisticuffs. While you're on the site, you can check out our upcoming appearances like Fan Expo Canada at the end of August. As well, you can sign up for the newsletter so you're always up to date on all things Group of 7 Comics. Also, check out the new show on the channel, Leveling Up, where each week I explore a new comic and try and pull a few key things out that I can apply to my work so I can keep leveling up. Some context for you here, a little bit of background on John Byrne's X-Men Elsewhen. There's a few things we kind of have to put together here. First is the Dark Phoenix Saga. From various interviews, articles, and conversations, we've gotten a chance to learn quite a bit. How that story came about and how that controversial ending came to be. Issue 137, which I'll put a link to that episode in the video right here. Claremont wrote a script detailing that Dark Phoenix goes and destroys his son. Byrne, when he pencils that page, interprets that beautifully, of course, and adds the element of the beings on the planet, nicknamed the Asparagus People, seeing that their star is exploding. So the consequences of that are that Phoenix has now caused the eradication of an entire planet, all the life forms on it. Their plan for what happens to Phoenix, the consequences of that, are that she is going to basically have an exorcism of a sort, if you want, like a cosmic exorcism, having the entity taken out from her. And Jim Shooter, the editor, felt that this was not a severe enough consequence considering the scope of Phoenix's crime. The idea that she would be arrested was put on the table, I think, by Shooter, and Claremont flat out rejected that she'd be in prison for the rest of her life. He didn't think that was a good enough idea. And the story from Shooter in that documentary, Chris Claremont's X-Men, Shooter says that Claremont came back the next day with the idea that they'll just kill her instead of having her be imprisoned. And Jim Shooter gave the go-ahead for that, and so they were committed to it. John Byrne was not happy about that at all. They had other plans for the character. They were thinking, well ahead, and they had emotionally invested in the character. So that all comes to pass. Issue 137, she has her... They had to, rewrite the last few pages. At the end of that issue, now it was changed where she is dead. She sacrifices herself. She enacts the execution beam, and she is now wiped out, and the X-Men are now in mourning. That's issue 137. 138, they have her funeral. By issue 144, Byrne is done, and he goes off to write and draw the Fantastic Four. But he always had this idea for where he wanted to take the characters. Now, fast forward 40 years, and Byrne is prompted by the people on his website. Anyway, he draws a page just to see if he can. And again, this is a story now he's retelling in an interview on Sci-Fi. Byrne talks about this idea of kind of wanting to challenge himself to see if he could do it. So he draws a page, and it comes out of him quickly. So he just draws another page, comes out of him again, draws another page. It says it just flows from the pencil. He was not planning a project. He was just drawing a few pages in a row of this sort of what happens next story. And next thing he knows, he's got a bunch of pages going. Now he's, I think, about 30 issues in. He's been doing this for about 5 years. And there is a rumor going around this week that Marvel is going to announce on Thursday at San Diego Comic-Con at an X-Men panel, they're going to announce that they are going to publish John Byrne's Elsewhen. So, given that this was a story that Jim Shooter did not approve at the time, he believed in a much stronger consequence for Jean Grey, the Dark Phoenix. He was not going to let them go in this direction. Given that he's just passed, it seems kind of very timely in terms of the zeitgeist of comics at the moment. Shooter's passing, X-Men are kind of back in the news, or back in the media, I think, a little bit, with obviously X-Men 97. And hopefully, we're getting this big X-Men panel on Thursday at San Diego. Hopefully they announce that we're going to get a published version that's fully inked and colored of John Byrne's X-Men Elsewhen. So that's a little background for you. I'm sure I've left out many detail. Feel free to add any of the conversation in the comment section below. And feel free to correct me where I've overstepped or oversimplified or just been flat out incorrect. I'm more than happy to get schooled and learn something here. So, on with the story.
In the jungle, the deadly jungle. The moon, specifically the mysterious surface feature known as the blue area. All is silence now, but mere hours ago these ancient ruins echoed with the sounds of battle. A battle the X-Men lost. And now the victors are returning the vanquished to Earth. Written and illustrated by John Byrne. The blue area here, this part of the moon, is a creation of Lee and Kirby. As far as I remember from my Marvel lore, the Inhumans are from the blue area. It's an area of the moon where people have lived, beings have lived for countless ages, and there is oxygen, and you can see there are ruins and artifacts, and of course, we were last here way back in X-Men 137. Neat to see Byrne drawing, Kirby stuff. For those of you who have not seen penciled comics before, this is all intended, of course, to be inked. Some lines are left rough, but they are made much smoother by the brush or the pen when the inker comes through. And you can see that there are also sections where it just says like BWS. That does not stand for Barry Windsor Smith. That in this case, Byrne wants something put there. I would imagine it's a black with stars is what I'm expecting that to mean. Black with stars. I love seeing the side of his pencil, by the way. So for instance, in the top left-hand corner, you can see there are blocky pencil strokes. That's because his pencil is on its side. So you get access to much more of the graphite when you do that for filling in these areas, as opposed to the sharpened point for other sections. This is a Shi'ar battle cruiser, but one of a mighty galaxy-spanning fleet. Though for the moment, this ship holds a special place. Majesty. It is, while she is aboard, the flagship of the Empress Lilandra Nirmani. Majesty, I must again express my concern. If we return the X-Men to their world without telling them what we have learned, it will be a matter of concern only to me. Proceed with the operation. Return the X-Men to the precise location from which they were extracted. Jean! It is done, Majesty. But now, what are we to do with the entity in our custody? If it is but a fraction as powerful as we fear, it is that, and more, old friend. Then again I ask, what are we to do with it? Signal ahead to the throne world. Have a special containment field prepared. It is presently too weak to resist us. By the time it recovers, it shall have been dealt with. You can see in Byrne's pencils, he grids things out. I can see perspective grids. Having accurate or somewhat accurate perspective there helps the magic trick of creating the illusion of scale on a two-dimensional surface, and depth, of course. Even where the X-Men have beamed down to a location in front of Jean's parents' house, you can see he's drawn out a perspective grid. And that helps the characters stand in a way as a group that is much more believable. Okay, this is abrupt, right? We've gone from the ship to beaming them down to now 3 weeks later. It is a strange way to do things. Like, Byrne has not really paced this out for a reader. He's kind of just trying it. As I mentioned off the top, he is flying by the seat of his pants. He is just trying panels and pages to see how it goes. He doesn't really have a big vision in mind in terms of the scope of this project. Yes, he has some of the story beats in mind, and he has some character things in mind from, back in the 80s. But he's drawing this at this moment in time, he's just drawing page by page. There's no larger project goal. 3 weeks later. You summoned me, sir? Oh, Kitty, why are you here? The professor has been showing me how Cerebro works. It's way cool. Sprite, give Cyclops a proper briefing. Oh, right, sorry. The professor was demonstrating the long-range capacity when he detected something originating in the Savage Land. I barely even believed that place was real. The Savage Land? Something that should concern us, sir? Something at least worth investigating, Scott. Prep the Stratojet and assemble the rest of the team. On it. We should be on our way in less than half an hour. Hey, wait for me. No, Kitty. Your training is not yet at the level that prepares you for field work. Notify me as soon as you reach the Antarctic, Scott. 7 hours later. Wow! It really is as fantastic as anything I've ever seen about it. A prehistoric jungle hidden below cloud cover with real dinosaurs. Kitty, sit down and behave yourself. You are in enough trouble as it is. But Aurora, she only stowed away because she did not wish to be left out. Understandable, surely. The professor may have other thoughts on that, Peter. But come on, my powers got me invited onto this team. What good are they if I sit home all the time? Not all the time, Kitty. We all had to train to work as a team. Your powers are no good unless they work as part of a well-coordinated whole. You must understand that. I do, I guess. Then sit down, brat. Hey! Oh! Ah! Don't worry, Fräulein. I got you. No! Kitty! I love seeing how Byrne draws Nightcrawler's Banff smoke. We just have these action lines sort of, emanating from Nightcrawler's body, whatever graphic way, suits Byrne, and then just squiggles on the outside. And just the combination of the two, it really works once it translates into ink and color. I love it. I remember trying to figure out how to do that as a kid and working with pen to just try and emulate somehow Nightcrawler's bamfing effects. See how also Byrne has drawn these X's in areas where he wants black to be filled in. You'll note when necessary, he will leave a section white with a good hard line edge that he's drawn to make sure that the inker doesn't fill in that area in black. In the third panel on this page here on the left, Nightcrawler's underarm and chest need to be illuminated for that whole image to make sense from Byrne's point of view. This is some weird storytelling. So, Byrne has done this page on the left. Now he's doing the page on the right. And he realizes he kind of wants to go back. So it's as Kitty falls out of the plane, as Nightcrawler bamps out to go chase Kitty, that's where this scene is happening. So we've gone with Nightcrawler on his journey down to the ground, but this scene here on the right is taking place simultaneously. So 40 seconds ago, it really doesn't work well as a smooth read, I have to say. Kitty! Wolverine, what have you done? I do the most Transylvanian Colossus, I can't help it. Peter, no! And as Colossus transforms, he's going to give Wolverine a pounding on the head. There is a little bit that also says the word boot, which is to express that pointy thing around Wolverine's knee is the top cuff of his boot. Hold tight, everyone! I'm going to execute an emergency turn. Look out for somewhere we can land. 10 seconds later. Kurt, where is Kitty? I had her, but she fell through my arms. She fell through the jungle canopy and was gone. It's neat to see Cochrum's Stratojet, the one that we saw him draw in the early issues of this run, kind of put to a more detailed render. Like, I feel like I know exactly how this thing looks and works now. It's not the Blackbird that I got used to later, but an earlier ship that the team used. So, Wolverine, are you sure? I'm sure. Her scent is on this grass, but it stops here. It's like the jungle just swallowed her up. Don't even think it. In the Savage Land, that's all too possible. Scott, you cannot track her? No, the radiation Professor X sent us down here to check out is interfering with my mini Cerebro unit. We're going to have to split up and search. Peter, you and Kurt go west. We'll go east. Look, above the trees. Pterodons. And they're circling something. It's interesting seeing the way Byrne is drawing Wolverine's mask and his boot cuffs. It's not identical to where he left off in the series. I also want to note Cyclops is much smaller a person. Like, his head is more proportionate to his body than the way he used to be drawn back in, the 130s of the X-Men. He looks more like a regular human being in this, although obviously some superhero proportions in there as well in his musculature. But his head is not massively undersized like the way most superheroes are drawn. Like, that bottom panel here is a great example of that. So Byrne has had, 40 years to sort of have these characters and their designs stew in his mind's eye. And so things are going to change over those decades. They're like Savage Land buzzards. But that means something is dying or dead. Scott, if it's Kitty, it's not. Carl Lycos! Cyclops, is that you? I cannot trust my senses. It's so cool to see how Byrne just sort of squiggles out the forest floor or the jungle floor and the canopy. Right, there are key items like the leaves of this plant, but so much of it is also just textural squiggles. And these beams of light are drawn with eraser. He's drawn everything and then come in with either an electric or like a gum eraser and dragged it over top to make these lines. If you told me it was all white media, I also wouldn't necessarily know that you're wrong. Coming in there with like streaks of whiteout or acrylic paint of some kind. Carl Lycos! Cyclops, is that you? I cannot trust my senses after what they did to me. After who did? Lycos! Watch it, Summers. This could be a trick. I do not think so. Look at him, Wolverine. The man has been through hell. And I suspect it was not the Savage Land alone that did this to him. Look away now for a moment. Back to that familiar mansion in Westchester County. Kitty. Where Charles Xavier is not happy. Where in the devil is she? I cannot sense her anywhere in the house or on the grounds. The phone, the private line. Who? Ah, Dr. Gray. How are you? No, I am sorry, but I've been able to determine nothing. Cool design on his chair. Nice and ergonomic, very sleek looking. I like that. But you must have something, Xavier. This is your area of expertise. You said those aliens had stripped Jean of her powers, but that her normal mental capacities would come back. Keep your voice down, John. We don't want Jean to hear you. You said she might show some natural progression in her familiar surroundings, but she's still showing the apparent intellectual capacity of a 5-year-old. A very bright 5-year-old, but There on the floor, you can see the kids are playing with some toys. That's Jean in the middle on her knees, playing with her niece and nephew, I'm assuming. With her sister, they're sitting on the couch. And her nephew's got an Avengers Quinjet. That's kind of cool. I can't exactly tell what the figures are in her niece's hand, but they look, in terms of the way they're drawn, kind of like Barbie or something like that. I'm afraid I have no good news for you, Doctor. The procedure the Shi'ar performed, shutting down the parts of Jean's mind that have become corrupted, is far beyond anything Earth sciences can imagine. But couldn't you ask for help? Don't you know Reed Richards? They say he's the smartest man on Earth. Surely, with everything he and the Fantastic Four have seen. And what about my kids? Answer me that, Xavier. If my sister, Jean, is a mutant, how do I know something terrible isn't going to happen to them? It'll be some years before there is likely to be any manifestation, Mrs. Bailey. By that time, I'm sure we can be prepared. But for now, all we can do is wait and pray. And Jean looks just like Kitty Pryde in that picture. It's almost like he's lost his version of what Jean should look like in his mind. Now, back to the Savage Land. And back in time some 20 minutes. More of those time jumps from Byrne. Oh my gosh! I phased the instant I hit the ground, without even thinking about it. But now I'm stuck. I can't go up in this form. No choice but to go down. Hopefully I'll hit a cave or... Yoinks! A tunnel? A man-made tunnel. This is crazy that he's, got this power set for her in this way where she can't go up. I don't know. It's obviously a plot device, but the choice to draw this, to draw the ground that way, is awesome. He is an inspiration. I didn't know the Savage Land had anything like this kind of technology. But then I guess there's a lot about the Savage Land that the rest of the world doesn't know. Cool to have her phasing through the bars. That looks great. How big is this place, I wonder? And who built it? Hold on. A couple of natives. Have I seen those funky suits? Who are you? Who? Ah! At that moment. Kurt, what is it? Listen, my ears are sharper than yours, but you'll soon hear. Aircraft, and something about them makes my hackles rise. I can't help but go Transylvanian. Oh my God. Do I not have a Russian accent somewhere in me? Aircraft, and something about them makes my hackles rise. They do not look friendly. We must follow. It's switching between German and Russian. Chris, you are incredible. I don't know how you do it. We must follow them. They may have something to do with what brought us here. And Kitty? There is no choice. Kitty's fate is unknown. But I sense an immediate threat in this craft. No! They are attacking those natives. Women and children. They're mowing them down. But there is something I can do. Something Wolverine and I have been perfecting. Something Wolverine and I have been perfecting. Now, cowards, let us see how you fare against someone who can fight back. So he jumps down. I don't quite see this. And then jumps up and crashes. Okay. As I thought, your vehicles are built for slaughter, not battle. He's neutralized 2 of us in 30 seconds. Hold your nerve, I'm swinging around. Now let him have it. 3 miles away. Listen, guns, big ones. It's them. They're coming after me. Lycos, wait. You still haven't told us who. Hold down the fort, boss. I'll bag the bird boy. His scent is way stronger than the brat's. He stinks of blood and fear. What the devil's gotten into him? He stopped running. Lycos. Stay away. For God's sake. Stay away. Too late. Too late. For you. Ah! I love images of transformation. They're so powerful to me. All right, freak. First blood to you. But Summers ain't here to make me play nice. So things are going to get real nasty for you. Scott! Lycos has changed into Sauron. Which makes him more than a match for Wolverine. We've got to move fast. Neat that Byrne has changed his approach to the panel borders too. As the action is picked up, panels have started to shift askew and the borders have become more organic and erratic. Blast! Wolverine is in my line of fire. I can't get a clear shot at Sauron. Leave this to me, Cyclops. I can get him from above. Be careful. Don't let him make eye contact. Ah, the Weather Witch. Release him, monster. Oh, I will release him. But first... His eyes! His eyes! It takes less than a single heartbeat. And suddenly Aurora is no longer seeing her teammate of these past few years. Instead, she sees all the horrors of her worst nightmares compressed into a single shrieking form. Storm! No, Sauron has... No! Sauron has used his hypnotic zap on her. She's not seeing Wolverine anymore. But I'm still seeing Sauron. The river! The current is sweeping him away. That's like all that exposition, right? He has to explain all these little details, which is fine. Not a big deal. And Storm! I can't imagine what Sauron made her see, but she's reacting instinctively, unleashing her full power. I don't know if even Wolverine could survive that. Oh dear God! Scott, what happened? There was a monster, but then... Oh no! Oh no! Don't come any closer, Aurora. He's alive, but he's pretty much cooked clean through. Delicious. The panel of Storm throwing her arms up and Wolverine getting thrown back is reminiscent of a Dark Phoenix panel. But so cool to see the way Byrne again has rendered the power of this with her lightning and all of her abilities through his pencil marks and then the eraser over top, where he's creating that kind of white, those zigzags and different shapes across that go perpendicular almost to the exploding effect. Very beautiful to look at. Who is she? Well, who is she? Where did she come from? How did she get in here? You know, her outfit looks kind of like the uniforms the X-Men wore a few years back. X-Men? Then she may be a mutant, which means she could be of use. Bring her to the containment chamber. That may not be as easily done as said. It's like she's become part of the floor. So this part I don't get. How she can be in the floor and still be alive and be touchable. Like, if she has mass... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Great drawing of an eye, though. Hey! Yeah! I told Mom gymnastics would come in handy. but not against them. Who's that? Where did she come from? Get her! Time to beat a fleet retreat. Only that's not what the X-Men would do, is it? The way he's drawn this one, his pencil lines are thicker than normal and very assured, like almost like he's tracing another drawing. And I'm not accusing Byrne of being a tracer. I'm wondering if he has drawn this himself, this pose with a different head. On another occasion, he's reusing another drawing and drawn over it, because that is not a usual line for him. And it stands out to me. Like, look at the lines around her mask, and then look at the lines around her body. And it looks to me like he's just taking a different stroke to that. A few minutes ago, again, this is so weird the way Byrne's doing this. It's like this does need an editor, to go back and kind of tweak some of the timing or his storytelling choices. You shouldn't be going back and forth like this unless it's for a reason that enhances the storytelling. A few minutes ago, Cyclops! Those thunderclaps, they sound like... Kurt, he's getting closer! And we see the little bamf effects basically coming from Storm's right ear down to the next panel. Bamf, bam, 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 bamf! As he's getting closer. There you are! I was only guessing you were in this direction. Kurt, have you found Kitty? No, but Peter and I have found... My God! Is that... Wolverine. There's nothing we can do for him. We'll have to leave him and hope his healing factor takes care of him. Lead us to what you found. Hurry! It will take longer on foot. Then I shall travel my way. Oh! Those natives, they have been massacred. They are all carrying food bowls, as if they came here expecting to be fed, as if they were lured here to be killed as sport. These crashed aircraft have no crew. Aurora, are you okay? Is Peter here? Not when I arrived. Only this killing field. I've got a feeling this won't be the worst we'll see. Looks like it went this way. Just then. Okay, they've never seen me before, so they don't know what I can do. And if I cut through walls, there's no way they can chase me. She executes her spontaneous plan without a flaw, until she steps through into a seemingly limitless chamber. Then an involuntary gasp escapes her lips, and she feels her knees go weak. What the heck is this? At that moment, 300 yards away, this place goes on forever. Who could have built it? Shh, quiet. I know those suits. Advanced idea mechanics. AIM. The professor showed me a field dossier. They are about as nasty as anyone gets. If they're behind this, I don't think we can play the stealth game anymore. We need to find Peter, fast. Finally, some action. Get clear, Nightcrawler. After what we have seen, I am in no mood to be subtle. Yeah, he kills it on Storm's effects. Very good. Those suits may protect them from my lightning, but not my wind and water. Beautiful. Okay, I know who you are. And for what I've read, you ain't bulletproof. She's not. And as long as I'm around, she doesn't need to be. Enough. Oh, what? Some kind of hypersonic. I feel as if my skull is going to burst. Byrne draws them, obviously, in a clear line style, which for him looks like they're kind of hollow or being illuminated from all sides by this hypersonic power. It is the X-Men. Grab them. Take them to containment. They will tell me what they are doing here before they die. 40 yards away. I should have waited for Kurt and the others to return. I have no idea where I am. I must revert to human form. Like this, I can move more silently. Wait, what? Kitty! Peter! Oh, you big lug! I'm so glad to see you. Kitty, what are you doing? Don't spoil the moment, you big bear. We've got to find the others. I've seen something. Meanwhile,
their arrival here cannot be coincidence. I am so close to the apex of my plan. And a swarm of mutants invade my facility. They have almost certainly come to interfere.
Why don't we start with this one, MODOK?
He's the least human.
MODOK, yes. I have heard of you. Captain America has defeated you more than once, I think. But why are you in the Savage Land?
An isolated location with a near infinite supply of geothermal energy. What could be more perfect for the execution of my plan?
It's a great looking MODOK. Oh my god. So Kirby. As long as you're feeling chatty, MODOK, I don't suppose you'd care to tell us what that plan is?
I would not. Suffice to say, when it succeeds, MODOK will no longer be alone in the world.
Ready, commence! The final phase, MODOK. What did he mean, no longer alone?
And why the fascination with mutants?
Simple, Wagner.
Lycos, good God, man. You look worse than when we found you. What happened to you?
They pulled me out of the river after you shot me down, Summers. They resumed experimenting on me. Wagner is quite correct. MODOK is fascinated with mutants. And non-mutant variants like myself, like him. He's trying to create a wave of transmutation radiation that will cover the globe, that will change all unborn children into versions of himself. A race of MODOKs.
Lycos! I think he's dead. Kitty, you're alive!
Sure right I am. And right now, I'm betting you're glad I'm not stuck up in Westchester, am I right?
You've got to get us out of here. There's some kind of dampening field that's preventing our powers from working.
Dampening field? Okay, I am out of... Ow! 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 It's worked on me already!
Again, meanwhile, I wish Kitty had not insisted we split up. But that chamber ahead seems to be a central focus of activity. Lennon's ghost! What is this place? Hey, who are you? How did you get in here? I have no time for your questions. My instincts tell me I should devote my energies to doing as much damage as I can. That's terrible. Moments later,
there are more of you. How many? Tell me.
I think I'll let you figure that out for yourself. Starting right now. Sprite, go!
Hi there, ugly. Time for a little payback.
Ah! You should just push him into the wall.
It worked. The dampening field is out.
Cut me loose, Storm. We're going to have to move fast.
Done. Yow! Cyclops, this whole place is in panic.
I can hear the alarms. And explosions? Any idea what's going on?
No, MODOK's people are evacuating fast. Not
enough of those pods for all of us. We must run!
What about Peter? I will search for him. Cyclops, this way is blocked. The corridors are filling with lava.
Lava?
The source of my power, mutant, and soon to be the cause of your deaths.
You can't hold on to me, you big cookie jar. Sprite. No, Sprite. Hold on to him.
Use your power on him. Now, let go. Ah, I am trapped in the wall. I can't move. Neat. Seconds later, shroom.
The whole place is going.
Keep moving. We need distance now.
Head for the forest. Head for the highest ground. Peter, he's still in there.
But not for long. Why does this savage land always want to burn me up?
Oh, Peter, you're super hot.
And not in a good way. 30 minutes later, a kind of peace has come back to the savage land. At least for a moment. Hey, what the hell has been going on? I wake up in the jungle with some friggin' plant trying to eat me. None of you were anywhere around. What? There is much now for the X-Men to contemplate as they begin their long journey back to their mansion headquarters. But our attention must turn much further away than anywhere on Earth, as the X-Men barf in their mouths at the sight of charred, healing Wolverine, buck naked. Peter's covering up Kitty's little eyes. Across the vastness of interstellar space, phrases such as meanwhile and at that moment lose all meaning. Suffice it then to say, this scene unfolds after the X-Men leave the Savage Land. This ship is small by the standards of the Shi'ar Imperial fleet, nothing more than a long-range shuttle. But it could, with a single signal, become the most important ship in the galaxy. Today that signal will not be sent. Station Delta, Delta Omega. Shuttle Arcival on approach run. Clearance level 1011A.
Shuttle Tarsival, you are cleared to dock. Follow Beacon 39-5.
Akan, what is happening? We had no warning. Patience to Earl. We will soon find out. Majesty! Commander Akan, take me to the prisoner. But, Majesty, we were not told of your coming. The facility is not fully prepared. I did not ask if it was. Lead the way. There is still much work to be done, Majesty. This was a mining colony which provided the infrastructure needed. But the necessary reinforcements have proven challenging. We are, after all, dealing with a force that has never before been thus contained. I did not come so many light years to hear excuses, Akan. Where is the cell? There, Your Highness. But you must approach no closer. I hope you are not giving me an order, Commander. It is my intent to approach much closer. Open it. Next issue. Pro to type. Prototype. And it says, for Len and Dave Pathfinders. Referring, of course, to Len Wein and Dave Cockrum, who were the creative team on Giant Size X-Men #1. And Len left the series to Chris Claremont after about another issue and a half in issue 94 and maybe 95. And Chris Claremont takes over writing duties. And of course, Dave Cockrum stays on until issue 107. And then returns, I think, in issue 145. Feel free to correct me in the comments below. Of course, there is much more. But that's for another time.
And that brings us to the end of another episode. Thanks so much for joining me tonight on this strange departure from what we usually do to explore something that is a little near and dear to my heart, given that I have such a lifelong love of both X-Men and John Byrne. You can support us by checking out our comics at group7comics.ca, where you can find Group of 7 A Most Secret Tale and Peregrines, Flights, Fiends, and Fisticuffs. You can follow us at Group of 7 Comics on social media. Please click like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and share with us your take on X-Men Elsewhen in the comments section below. Go dig out your old back issues, trade paperbacks, essentials, omnibuses, DVD-ROMs, bootlegs, or hop on an app and read along with us next week on Previously in X-Men. Thank you, bubs, and stay XE.